Hello, and welcome to the first year of WWE's ECW, the show where we take a look back at the first 52 episodes of WWE's re-envisioning of Extreme Championship Wrestling. We kick off the show with a recap of last week's main event, where Rob Van Dam interrupted the number one contenders match between Sabu and Kurt Angle. Tonight we are getting a triple threat ladder match to determine Big Show's opponent for the ECW World title at SummerSlam. We then cut to Paul Heyman and the champ Big Show backstage. Heyman announces that 2 nights ago Kurt Angle picked up a groin injury, but hid it from management. So he now has no choice but to medically suspend Kurt Angle from the match tonight. Heyman grins, and so does Big Show. Paul Heyman explains that the match will still go ahead without Kurt Angle. So tonight, it's RVD versus Sabu in a ladder match to determine the number one contender for the world title. The car crash sounds screech around the arena, and Mick Foley makes his way down to the ring. Foley promised he would be out here on ECW tonight after he attacked Ric Flair in his match against Johnny Nitro on Raw the previous night. Mick Foley cuts an impassioned promo for his upcoming I Quit match against Ric Flair at SummerSlam. Foley tells us that he extended an invitation to Flair, but Rick won't be here tonight. He says he promised these great ECW fans something extreme, so he'd like to introduce us to his first guest. It's the star of Kelly's expose, Kelly Kelly. Mick says why stop there and proceeds to introduce Melina to the ECW crowd in attendance. Ay. Melina was always one of my favourites. So what has Mick got in store for us with these two? A stripping competition presumably with Kelly's track record? No, it's a three-way dance. Mick, Melina and Kelly proceed to cut a rug in the ring to some god-awful music, which I'm pretty sure they used in one of Kelly's expose segments. Couldn't they have just used Dude Love's theme? Eventually Ric Flair's music hits and the Nature Boy runs down to the ring and lays the smackdown on Mick. Flair then strangles Foley with his belt through the ring post. Rick gets on the mic and says to Foley that he is going to make him quit this Sunday at SummerSlam, and also tells the kid to kiss his ass when the kid tells him he sucks.
Kiss my ass, kid!
After the break, Shannon Moore is staring at a wall. Then he turns around and says in the most robotic voice ever,
"Question authority."
Jeez, these vignettes are fucking awful. Please stop. Even through the darkest days, this fire burns, always. CM Punk makes his way down to the ring for his second ever ECW match. Tonight he's taking on Justin Credible, again. It goes to a cutaway promo where Credible explains that tonight he is going to prove that Punk's victory over him 2 weeks ago was nothing more than a fluke. This match was okay. It served a purpose building Punk some more on TV. Later in the match, Credible goes to hit a suplex on Punk, but he counters it and sends Credible into the turnbuckle and then delivers a knee to his face. Punk then hits a devastating kick to Credible's mush and locks in the Anaconda Vice for the win. It turns out that that first win wasn't a fluke. After the break, RVD is on a ladder and cuts a promo about his upcoming match with Sabu tonight. The last time he was in a ladder match was at WrestleMania, where he won the Money in the Bank briefcase. Tonight, he is going to do the same, no matter how suicidal, homicidal or genocidal Sabu is. It's bullshit promo time. Rene Dupree tells us that we all know he's the most beautiful man in sports entertainment, but he's going to prove to everyone that he's also the most hardcore wrestler to ever step foot in an ECW ring. Right, we'll see about that, Rene. FBI members Tony Mamaluke and Little Guido make their way to the ring with quite possibly the most mismatched theme to their gimmick. It sounds like something you'd hear on a Time Crisis level. Kelly Kelly makes her second appearance of the night as she accompanies Mike Knox and Test to the ring. Test and Knox dominate FBI, with the latter team getting minimal offense. Mamaluke runs and hits Knox on the apron and then goes to take out Test, but he launches him up in the air. Test then turns around and delivers a devastating big boot to the face of Guido. I bet he was seeing stars after that one. It looks pretty stiff. Test then hits his finisher on Mamaluke and it's all over like that. Just as Knox and Test are getting their arms raised, Tommy Dreamer and the Sandman enter the ring and the big guys scarper to the outside. Knox and Test leave the arena whilst Dreamer and Sandman stand in the ring. Okay, let's say some thoughts on this rivalry. It's probably been one of the more consistent storylines going in ECW. Everything else on the show feels a bit all over the place, so there's a positive for it. I also like the two ECW originals teaming up to take on Heyman's new vision of the brand. I wasn't sure about Mike Knox to begin with, but I have to say he has grown on me since the early episodes. He's not amazing or anything, but he's okay. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this rivalry in the comment section below. Before the main event, Paul Heyman, his security team and the Big Show are discussing something backstage when out of nowhere Kurt Angle starts going mad and attacks the security team and Big Show. He's trying to get to Heyman for taking him out of tonight's #1 contenders match. Eventually he is pinned down by a police team and taken away in handcuffs. Main event time, RVD and Sabu make their way to the ring. Wow, I don't even know where to start with this match. This was brilliant. Two great hardcore wrestlers trying to put on the best match they can with some amazing death-defying moves. There's a really weird spot early in the match where Sabu sets up a chair and jumps to RVD on the top rope, but he can't keep his balance and lands on his gonads. RVD then looks at him and instead of hitting him tries to jump for the contract even though it's miles above him and he would never get it from there. Taz actually says,
RVD almost made it.
You're a donut! You're so stupid!
Sabu then redeems the spot when he uses a chair to clothesline RVD to the outside. Sabu has another stinker later when he sets up a ladder to use as a jumping platform, but when he steps on the ladder it just collapses. No joke, when Sabu is setting up the ladder for this spot, someone audibly yells in the crowd, "Are you retarded?" Like they knew the ladder wasn't going to hold him. These two botchy bits aside, there are some great spots in the match. Too many to tell really, but to name a couple, RVD monkey flipping a ladder into Sabu, rolling thunder onto a ladder, Sabu's triple jump moonsault, and his Arabian facebuster which RVD avoids, all of which happen in the space of about 3 minutes. Later, Sabu throws a ladder into RVD, but he doesn't keep him down for long because next he kicks him in the face and delivers an awesome 5-star frog splash. He got so much air on that one. Sabu has rolled out of the ring and RVD is in the clear to climb the ladder and grab the contract. But just as RVD is at the top, Big Show gets in the ring. Van Dam sees him and decides to jump on Show but gets caught and put through a table on the outside. Big Show calls for the contract to be lowered down for him. As the contract is being lowered, Sabu jumps onto the shoulders of the Big Show and retrieves the contract. Big Show eventually powerbombs Sabu. It's a bit of a messy finish. Not sure why Show didn't just powerbomb him to begin with. It's not like Sabu was punching him or putting up a fight. Big Show then chokeslams Sabu and shortly after RVD. He then exits the arena. After it cuts back from replays, Sabu has ripped up his contract and is now eating it. A slightly chaotic and messy finish to this week's episode, but a thoroughly entertaining match. Sabu is our #1 contender for the ECW World title at SummerSlam. Hopefully by next week's episode we will have a new champion. I'm going to give the August 15th episode of ECW 3.5 out of 5 stars. Thanks again for watching and I'll see you in the next one.